Hi everyone! This week we're creating this spooky paper lantern for Halloween. The first thing you'll need to do is go to the link in the description of this video where you can print these patterns. Cardstock works great for this, and I used a dark gray color so I could still easily see the color of the ink. Once you have those printed, go ahead and cut them out. So you should be left with this. Now the next step is just to start cutting out the design. So I'm using this X-Acto knife to cut out all of the pieces. And wherever I needed to cut a straight line, like here around the sides, I used a ruler to help guide the cut, just to make the line nice and straight. And I would recommend using a metal ruler if possible, because this plastic one and wood ones are kind of easy to cut into with that sharp of a blade, so you just have to be careful. So I just went around all the sides and used the ruler to cut all of those straight lines. And be careful as you're cutting that you don't cut too far past the lines. So once I had all of those straight areas cut, I just went through and freehanded the curved areas. And then you can start taking the pieces out as you cut them. And I found that it's best if you press hard enough that it will just completely cut through the paper in one pass, but you can always go back and cut through a line again if you're having trouble pulling the piece out. So here is what this side looks like when it's finished. And now we can move on to this spiderweb side. And I just used the same techniques to cut this one out. I used a ruler to guide all of the straight lines and then just freehanded the curved ones. And on this design, I found that it seemed to work best if I cut all of the straight lines first, and then I went through and cut all of the curved lines. And then just start going through and pulling those pieces out. So once I had everything cut out, I just went through and I fixed any areas that I didn't like or that weren't quite rounded enough. So here are these two sides when they were finished. So now you'll just want to repeat the same process on these other two sides. So here's the jack-o'-lanterns when they were finished. And then finish cutting out this last spiderweb side. Now that everything is cut out, it's time to score all of the fold lines. So I'm using this EK Tools scoring tool and a ruler to guide the fold line. You can also use a pen that no longer writes if you don't have a special scoring tool. So just go through and score on all of those dashed lines. Then when that's finished on both pieces, you can just go through and gently fold on those lines. Now that everything is folded, we can go ahead and attach these two pieces together right here. So I accidentally put glue on the wrong side of this tab. What you'll want to do is fold it back like this, and you'll either want to put the glue back there on the tab, or you can just put it directly onto this other piece like I'm doing here. And then just quickly line up those pieces and press that tab in place. Next, we're going to create the glass for the windows, so you'll need vellum or some other thin type of paper. I'm using tracing paper. And you'll need to cut 4 pieces that are each 2 5/8 inches wide by 4 1/4 inches tall. So we'll be placing these over each design so it's centered and there's space around the whole design. And to attach these pieces, I don't like to use hot glue because it sets so fast. I like to use this Tombow Mono liquid glue. It seems to work really well for this and doesn't buckle the paper too much. So I put that all around the outer edges. And then I put it on the inner parts of the design. And you don't need to use as much as I did here, you just need a little bit. So once I did that, I just took the vellum and I just tried my best to center it, and then just pressed it down and made sure that it was well attached to all of the areas. So it should look like this on the other side. So now you'll need to just go ahead and do that on all of the sides. So you're left with this, and now we can start assembling the lantern. So I'm using hot glue for this, and I'm just going to put some glue here so this tab can attach to it. And you can put glue either on the tab or on the side, it doesn't really matter. Then I'm going to put glue here on this tab. And press that in place. And make sure everything is well folded and it's creating the shape it's supposed to. And then finally for this last side, I glue the bottom tab first. And then pull back this side tab and put glue on it. And then line that up and press it in place. Finally, we just need to do these top tabs. So just put glue on each of those and line it up with the side. And then finally glue the last one right here. So now the lantern is completely finished and here are all 4 sides. Put an LED light inside and you have a fun, spooky Halloween decoration.